Hey, did you know you can still make anywhere from 4.5% or more in a savings account? Yeah, a savings account. What am I talking about? High yield savings accounts. They're viable, they've been around for a long time. And even with the economy the way it is right now, you can still get some pretty good rates. I went to one of my favorite spots, NerdWallet. I've talked about them plenty of times, and there's others, so you don't have to rely on me or what I find. But NerdWallet's a pretty good resource when it comes to finding good financial information and sources. So if you're looking for car loans, if you're looking for home loans, if you're looking for better insurance rates, they have a lot of partners that they work with. Not so much that you get a deal from them, but they line up and give you information and articles that kind of spell out where the best deals are at. Now, I want to suffice some of this information with the caveat that you're going to have to do some research, because some of these banks that they have the better deals with, the higher numbers with, have a lot of stipulations and funny business. I think kind of funny. So I'm not going to mention their names, but if you see one that's offering 5.5, 6%, some of the ones that I found that offer that kind of a rate are expecting you to do a minimum monthly distribution or amount automatically going into that account. They want a checking and a savings account, and you're only going to earn the percentage, the higher percentage on a certain dollar amount. But the ones I want to list to you today are ones that I would consider they're big heavy hitter banks. They're safe investments, and there's most of them have no minimum requirements, and there's no monthly minimums that you have to put in. You just have to maintain a balance. And you don't have to have a savings and a checking account with money going to the checking account that's equal to the value you have saved. I mean, that's the kind of thing I ran into. It's pretty silly. But if you go with SoFi right now, they're pretty popular with home or not home loan, student loan refinancing. Right now they have a 3.8% high yield savings account, and they offer right now they're offering a $300 bonus with a direct deposit setup. Now, if you want to do that, that's fine. If you don't want to do it, then move on to the next. American Express, 3.7%. Capital One, 3.6%. And Discover has got 3.6%. And like I said, there are others out there that offer higher rates, but they have a lot of ins and outs that you got to make sure you meet, and you may not be worth that extra hassle. These other ones are pretty well known, and you can make easy deposits and be done. Now, it doesn't seem like it's a lot of money when you consider 3.6 or 3.7%. But if you were to take just $10,000 over a 5-year period and just put that 10 grand in there and not do anything else for 5 years, you're going to make $2,200 on top of that 10 grand. It just, because it continues to compound as long as you're not taking money out, versus a savings account at only $207. So it literally is 10x the average rate of savings accounts right now if you put them in these higher yield savings accounts. So one of the great things I liked about NerdWallet as well, and other sites have them, so it's not just them. They have a compound interest calculator, so you can go onto that site and just kind of figure out and do some playing around with numbers. But they have it linked directly when you go in and look for the high yield accounts that they recommend for the month, and they usually go by the month. So these are numbers that were recently posted on today, and they're good right now through May. These rates are subject to change, just like any rates are, depending on what the federal government does with the Fed rates and all that kind of stuff. But right now, still getting close to 4%. It's pretty good payback. Now, maybe you say to me, hey, I don't got 10 grand to put in my account to get something started. Well, here's for you, for those of you, for anybody really, you can do. Some of these, they have no minimum. So you could start with $50 and just go from there. But let's just say you took even just $1,000 a month, or $1,000 seed money, and then did approximately $100 a week. Well, you're still going to grow that, at 52%. I'm sorry, $52. Wow, sorry, $5,200 a year. That count in 5 years is going to be worth $30,000. That's starting with $1,000 seed money and $100 a week. So yeah, you're adding $5,200 a year of your own money, but you're still getting 3.5%, 4% compounding interest on it. That money adds up pretty quickly. And anytime you're making money, that's bonus day, right? Especially with the market right now. And this is one of the things I've talked about before, because this is how I'm hedging some of my losses in my 401k, because I was heavily invested in the S&P. Things are starting to rebound. That's good for everybody. However, it doesn't hurt to do something like this and save a little extra money. Also, you can set up through your accounts that you have money put in there weekly automatically, or you can set it up where you just transfer it on your own once a month. I recommend using automatics, because that way it becomes no-brainer. Once the money's going in there automatically, you'll never miss it. Kind of like I talked about the other day, and I've talked about in the past, how I have basically a digital envelope system still going from the old Dave Ramsey envelope system days. I don't know that he's the guy who invented it or not, but that's where I learned it from. But I have digital envelopes. So as soon as my check hits my bank, it gets divided up into accounts that are specific for different needs, different requirements. Certain amounts go in there. It covers my rent, my utilities are in separate, credit card, if there is any, on a separate, car insurance, those kinds of things. All those basic expenses that you have every week, I put in a separate account. And then everything that's going to get saved gets saved, and everything that can be spent for groceries, gas, etc., stays in the checking accounts to be used specifically for that reason. And then if we decide to do anything above that, make a purchase, go someplace for dinner, whatever, that money comes out of money that's extra and saved, whether it's for anything specific or not. So it's kind of like a discretionary fund for fun and fun only. So that's how we kind of stay on budget. So if you can set this up to go into $25 a week goes over to that account, so you do $100 a month, it's still something. And if you don't get started, you never get started. And if you're closer to retirement age like I am, you're getting up there in years, this is a great way to kind of just save a little extra money, build your emergency fund bigger without even thinking about it. Just put it in there, make 4% on it. You don't have to worry about it disappearing because the next day the stock market drops, etc. Anyway, things to consider. High yield savings accounts, pretty good way to go. They, like I said, they update all the time. So check with different lenders and different bank account systems and find out what their rates are right now. Anyway, that's all I got today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.